Hello everyone, here is my Gear VR powered by Oculus. It's the Generation 1 from 2015. Here are the touch button things, back button. It's got the micro USB. This is the one that was for the Samsung S6 and 7 and the other variations of those two models. And then I think it worked with the Note that came out at that time. I picked this up not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago, because I was able to get it for only $12. And the Samsung S6, this was my previous cell phone, so since this is one of the phones compatible with it, I thought, why not? So, yeah, I got this for only, $12. And, yeah, then I also got, here was the remote, which this came out for the newer one, the 2017 or 18 model. That was for, like, the newer phones, the S9 and so forth and everything. And, this was only $10, too. Not sure if it's always $10 or if it was just on sale. But, yeah, so for $20, I got the basics of a VR set by Oculus. And since I already had the Samsung phone, perfect. So I'm going to do a playthrough with a couple games, as well as just my overall review and impressions of this unit. The S6 fits in perfectly. As you could see on the sides, there's plenty of give. And with this bracket, there's a whole bunch of extra room here. So, since the 6 and 7 are the same size, that's not a big deal. But between this part moving a little bit, it slides, as well as there's just already an extra thing. This could easily fit the 8, or the 9 even, or the Note series. The only thing is, though, then you would have to get an adapter piece that switches the micro USB to a C-type. The only thing with that, though, is, at least for me, well, first off, I don't have one of the newer Samsungs with a C-type plug, but second off, I got this and this remote for under $25. The adapter by itself that switches it to a newer phone, that's like $25, that piece alone. So, like, just to maybe use with a friend's phone or something, it's not even really worth it for me to buy that piece, since I got this for only like $12 and this was only 10 or something. So it's not even like worth it to buy that extra piece. But you still can do it, even though this is the 2015 Oculus. Here's the setup. Yeah, that is the only setup. You put your phone in, and immediately your phone will detect this, and it will immediately launch certain apps by Oculus and say, welcome, here's your setup. Very easy. It only takes maybe about 5 minutes, maybe longer, depending on your internet speed. It might vary, because it does make you download a bunch of stuff. Here's a little wrist strap or not a wrist strap, it's a holder for the remote to, like, keep the remote on it. And that this piece comes with the remote when you buy that. And then it's also, both of this one and the 2017 model, they do have some buttons. This is a touchscreen, that's also touchscreen. That's a physical button, a back button, and it's got volume rockers. And there are a large majority of games you can just play with this touchscreen type stuff and the back button. And then, obviously, since compared to a regular headset, this one is tracking movement and stuff when you turn your head and stuff better than just, like, your phone could. Or, well, like, it is using a phone, obviously, but, like, I mean, compared to taking any generic headset, like, with Google Cardboard, compared to that and just using your cell phone, it's a lot more accurate and better tracking than that. And then, that is pretty much the gist of how this is designed and stuff. I feel like I went over most of it. This is also adjustment of the whole thing can come out or go closer to adjust like how close it is when you look through here. So I'm going to proceed to do a walkthrough of some of the games I've bought and other ones I've just downloaded for free, kind of just showing off my first playthrough as well as just how they are. Hope you like. One part to bring up though about this is for the price point that I got this at, I love it and I use it a lot. And yeah, just between all this, it's great. There's at least 2 to 3 dozen that I can think of, maybe even more, games that are free. So just investing in some of this, if you have a compatible phone, you can do a lot for free. And then they often have things on sale, such as a couple of the games I have that I'll show later I did get on sale, as well as I'll show some free things off. However, one complaint that I do have, at least with my user experience, since I'm using it with a Galaxy S6, which is the first compatible phone to go with all this like system stuff, because of the RAM only being 3 gigabytes, and even with airplane mode on, so it's using no extra data during a game, and I have a lot of like notification and background stuff turned off or disabled, so it should be putting all of its power into the game I'm playing. And just no matter what I try, it seems the back of this and the sides get really hot really quickly during a game. And on average, I can only get through maybe about 10 minutes at one time of playing a game, and then this starts to overheat, and then it'll actually give you a message saying that your device is reaching too hot of a temperature, and like it'll affect your VR performance. And then it does give you the option to just ignore this message and dismiss it, and you could continue playing. But then after you receive that message and you do that, you'll then notice the frame rate and everything is horrible, and it's really bad. Otherwise, you have to stop for about 5 minutes to let it cool down. That's usually all it takes, is about 5 minutes. But it happens so often, so at least with an S6, I'm not sure if the Plus or the Edge or the 7 or any of their variations was better, but at least with this, it's about 10 minutes of play, depending on the game, and then 5 minutes of rest, and back and forth, back and forth. And then on top of that, especially with the overheating and then cooling back down, you're lucky if you get an hour worth of battery life at a time when doing this. So, yeah, that is the biggest complaint. But otherwise, the variety of games, both free and paid, and just the way things work and overall price I got this for, I really can't complain. It's wonderful. It's an awesome experience into VR. But, yeah, at least with the S6, it definitely overheats much faster. I would assume, or I'm sure, the S8, with, like, the new, when the black one, the 2017 model came out, I'm sure that one was probably better, and that overheated less. Especially because even the S8, they had like a dedicated performance mode you could power on. The S6 and 7 didn't have anything like that yet. Anyhow, that's just a little review portion of this unit. And in the background, this is a pair of this is the Hesh 3 Skull Candy headphones. I got these because at the time they seemed good of a 20-hour battery life, and they were featuring one of those 30-minute quick charges. I like them. The equalizer and like sound settings for them, they kind of seem a little bass heavy at times, but compared to some of the other products that they make, they're not as bass heavy as some of the others. But yeah, they work good. They connect to all my devices easily, and I've had them for a while. Anyway, the Gear VR, Gear VR by Oculus, Generation 1, 2015. I will show off some games next. Thank you for watching.